clicking on this video. I really appreciate it. I am possibly delirious, but that aside, I am still very, very, very grateful to anybody who gives any of my videos the time of day. You guys are. Today's video, as you saw from the thumbnail, the title, whatever, I'm talking about the Netflix film Dumplin. So here's just something I want to quickly mention about this movie. Well, it's not really about the movie. I have Netflix. So pretty much if something is new to Netflix, anytime I get an email from Netflix saying, hey, guess what, there's this new thing you may be interested in. Or if I just open Netflix, it's going to give me an ad or a list of everything that is new to Netflix. And yet, so I would have figured out about this movie eventually. And then, and of course everybody that I follow was talking about it and reviewing it. And then there's my brother, who was calling me almost every day for like a week. There's this movie Dumplin, you need to watch it, you're gonna love it. Yeah, okay, yeah, you always say that, but you know, it's got Dolly Parton songs, it's this, it's that, it's this, and I'm like, okay, got it, cool. Next day, have you watched Dumplin yet? No, I haven't watched it. Well, you should watch it. Next day, have you watched Dumplin yet? No. Well, why haven't you watched it yet? Because I've got other stuff to watch. So that was like the full week. And I was getting really irritated because I've got so many things on my watch list. Like, hello, that's why this bucket exists. But I will get to things when I get to them. But my brother is a little bit antsy, so he just demands that I watch whatever he wants me to watch straight away. Said by the man who still hasn't watched The Newsroom when I gave it to him years ago. So I finally got to watch it, and you're gonna understand this when you get to the review, but I really freaking loved it, which kind of irked me because my brother kept saying, you gotta watch it, you gotta watch it. I'm like, yeah, and then I watched it, I'm like, damn it, and I loved it, you bastard. I hate it when he's right sometimes. And then of course I put that on Twitter, so I immediately get a text message where he's taken a photo of my tweet, and he's just like, I'm getting this framed. I'm like, bastard. So yes, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm gonna go into explaining why I did or any issues I may have had with it. We'll get to it. But yeah, I'm still gonna have a little bit of a grudge over the fact that I like it just because my brother hounded me about it, you bastard. But anyway, there's my story time done, but let's move on to the actual review. Dumplin is an American coming-of-age comedy film directed by Anne Fletcher with a screenplay by Kristen Hann. It is based on the young adult novel of the same name by Julie Murphy and sees Willardine Dumplin, the plus-sized teenage daughter of a former beauty queen, sign up for her mum's Miss Teen Blue Bonnet pageant as a protest that escalates when other contestants follow her footsteps, revolutionizing the pageant and their small Texas town. It's been a good minute since a film made me smile, cheer, and cry as much as Dumplin did. I think it is fair to say that when we as people watch movies, we watch them in hopes of being entertained. We certainly want to walk away feeling something towards the movie in question. Those feelings may be good, they may even be bad, but something is better than nothing. But when you can find a film that truly speaks to you as a person and moves you at your core, then that is a sign of a good movie and is something many of us genuinely seek, and that is most certainly what I got from Dumplin. Dumplin has a predominantly female-led cast, and what amazes me about this is how relatable and human I found each character to be. I've always been a woman who has struggled to get along with other women, and when it comes to movies, I have had very little luck in finding characters that are written in a way I can relate to. Female characters are either written how men perceive women to be and not how they actually are, or they are written as the type of women I personally don't get along with. Very rarely does a character align with who I am, but here is this simple little movie that gave me multiple characters to see myself in, especially when it comes to our lead. Willa Dean, aka Dumplin, played by Daniel McDonald, is a plus-size teenager just trying to find her place in the world. While she finds her joy and happiness in life in the lyrics of the songs of Dolly Parton, Willa Dean has a somewhat negative outlook on the world around her. Her views are formed based on how she has been treated, whether it be by people on the street, people in school, or her very own mother. Willa Dean is struggling to find her inner strength and embrace who she is and accept that she is good enough and has something to offer, but it's a journey for her to get there. Along the way, she proves to be her own worst enemy. She judges her best friend, believing she can't understand what it means to be insecure just because she's skinny, something she soon realizes was a mistake on her part. She judges her mother as a prissy perfectionist without genuinely getting to know her, and she judges her fellow plus-size classmates for having an eternally optimistic approach to all things, feeling she should see the world how she does instead of admiring her for her positivity. Through the course of the movie, Willa Dean learns that everyone has their own insecurities and everyone is just trying to navigate their way through the world as best they can. She learns to embrace who she is and accept that she is good enough for others and for herself, and in doing so makes stronger connections with others along the way. Willa Dean has never had the best relationship with her mother, but through these events they develop true respect and admiration for each other. Willa Dean's mother, Rosie, played by Jennifer Aniston, is a woman trying to juggle being a single mother, a breadwinner, and a woman who runs the best pageant in the state, something that has been a passion of hers since she was young. She's also, as we learn, a woman grieving the loss of her sister and struggling to maintain her strong and confident exterior, especially when her most prominent supporter is no longer around. It's through watching her daughter shine and showing everyone how amazing she can be and pushing past adversity that not only is she filled with a mother's pride, but some of her daughter's newfound courage rubs off on her and she begins to find it in herself. There is undoubtedly an evolution to these characters and their relationships with each other, and how they all play off each other is perfect. It's a beautiful roller coaster ride of emotions. I was bouncing between moments where I found myself cheering like a madwoman, to crying from how moving or touching the scene was, to laughing at the very clever but genuine humor in this movie. Everyone gave fantastic performances with virtually nothing for me to criticize or have an issue with. As I said, I've never loved such a large group of female characters before. It's highly unusual. The entire movie is done to the backdrop of Dolly Parton songs and the words of wisdom she has shared during her career. I love that the songs became characters within the movie and perfectly echoed each scene or storyline they were used in. They weren't just accents to make a scene sound more impressive. They served a real purpose to every element of the story, and who doesn't enjoy a bit of Dolly Parton in their life? I know I do. It also made the lead character even more relatable, as many of us have that person who we look up to and find wisdom and inspiration from, that helps motivate us and push us forward in life. And seeing how Dolly has done that for Willa Dean, I found beautiful and was an excellent addition to the film. One of Willa Dean's new sources of support is a group of drag queens who perform at a Dolly Parton night at a local bar. One drag queen in particular, Candy Dish, is played by real-life drag queen Joshua Allen Eads, or as he is better known to the world, Ginger Minge. I think he did a brilliant job in this film. I could not find a flaw in his performance, and on top of that, I think he had a lot to offer the movie and the characters in it. Not because he is a drag queen, but because he has competed in drag pageants for many years, and so he knows a thing or two about pageant life, making him a useful asset. Along with Candy is Lee, played by Harold Perrineau, I don't know how you pronounce these words. A drag queen with a deep respect and love for Willa Dean's aunt, who happily helps guide her and embrace her. I love that little extra touch of compassion he brought to the film, and I found it fascinating watching him perform in drag again, because last time I saw him in drag was in 1996's Romeo and Juliet, where he played Mercutio. Now, I'm aware the role was not a drag role, but during a big party scene, the character does dress in drag and lip sync to Young Hearts Run Free, a scene I've never forgotten. I guess silver costumes and platinum hair are his go-to when he's a woman, and I love it! My favourite scene in the film is something I feel I must talk about. When Willa Dean shares her first special moment with Beau, played by Luke Benwood, I was taken aback and moved to tears. It's been so long since a scene resonated with me so much. As Bo tries to show Willardine how much he likes her, Willardine clams up as fast as she can. As he touches her back, she becomes rigid and insecure and just wants to run. Later, she tells her best friend, who says she experiences the same thing. At this moment, I had to pause and take a moment to breathe and reflect on what I had just seen. I am on the plus size, and even before that, I was never confident about my looks. I'm still not. When it comes to being intimate or affectionate, I have never been able to relax around men, and the thought of being touched terrifies me, simply because when I have been, I tense up and spend all my time asking myself, why? Why do they want to touch me? Why do they want to hold me? Why are they not repulsed by me? I bet they are and are just too desperate to mess up their chance at getting action. In all my years of watching films, I have never seen a character on screen experience this particular insecurity, and so realistically, and I'm trying not to get emotional. At that moment, I felt we were the same person. I knew how she was feeling and why, and it made me sad, but so happy. I'm not saying this has never been addressed, but I have never seen it before until now. A plus-size girl who just wants to be touched by the guy she likes, but is so afraid and insecure that she would rather run than risk watching the disgust appear on his face when he realizes what touching fat is like. I am so grateful to this movie for including this moment, and I am so thankful for having another character who is not plus size talking about how she experiences it too. Because these insecurities are not restricted to plus size women only. We all have things about ourselves we don't like, and sometimes it just takes that one person to help us get past it. I in no way expected to love, admire, or be moved by this film as much as I was. I loved almost everything about it. I say almost because I did have one minor issue. I was disappointed to see the film reuse the very tired protesting butch lesbian stereotype. It seems we still haven't moved beyond that stereotype, and I was disheartened to see that, despite the role being played by openly gay non-binary actor Bex Taylor-Laus. But the character is redeemed by being written with a good amount of humor, and I enjoyed that what started as a protest for her turned into her discovering that embracing girly or typical girly things doesn't destroy or detract from her identity. You can embrace both the feminine and masculine, and you can fight political battles and the patriarchy while still enjoying and participating in something that maybe doesn't align with those political beliefs. We are all complex beings, and we are not limited or confined to being just one thing, and in that I found the character to be well written and enjoyable and saved from the stereotype, thank God. I would gladly watch this film again. I didn't expect it to offer as much as it did. I never expected it to be so heartwarming or moving or relatable, but it was. It's incredibly written, brilliant performances, and I highly recommend it to anyone debating whether or not they wish to watch it. If you are asking yourself that question, then let me help you out. Yes, stop what you're doing and hit play, because you won't regret it. Well, that was interesting. Yeah, I know that I got emotional watching that film, and I do admit, when I wrote my review of it, I got very emotional and was crying while I was writing it, and here I am in front of the camera saying the same things, and after months, okay, it's not that many months, it's like 2 months, but after 2 months, those same thoughts and feelings, still there, still strong, and yeah, I was trying not to cry. Haha, I didn't break the waterline. Yes, go me. But yeah, just such a good watch. It's very rare that I get emotional while doing a review. The last time that I actually started to tear up like this was when I was reviewing Pose. So I guess that's a sign that I really liked it. So if you have seen it, or what am I talking about? It's the usual drill. Just comment down below, share your thoughts on the movie. Hell, you can share your thoughts on this review. Is there anything that you agree with, disagree with? Just let me know. Why? Why do you ask? Because I say so. So, anyway, I'm off. You do your thing. I'ma do mine. So, until next time, bye.